Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for the collective. Know that energy is fluid, or roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading, so we do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes, helping you understand why you're attracting who you're attracting, why the situation is playing out the way that it is. If there's many different realities that play it at one time, why would you want to live in a reality that keeps you stuck in a place of disempowerment? We wouldn't volunteer. Understand the universe brings us people, situations, and experiences that are going to help grow us, change us, help us revert back into our original energy, which is just unconditional love. It's the same energy as the universe. It's the same energy as source. It's what gives us our spiritual sovereignty. So again, when we're out of alignment, we wouldn't realize, because sometimes again we just mold to the environment, and we don't even realize it. We realize by how we feel later, or what transpires in our outer world. So again, being that there's many different realities that play out at one time, you actually can be the alchemist of your life. That's why I like to do these type readings. But again, we look at everything. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. Let's see what the underlining word of the video is. We always know that is on the first and second card that I pull out, is the underlining energy that tells us why everyone does what they do, especially when they wear masks and create facades. We don't know why they do what they do. And so but this energy tells us why. All right, lies and illusions. And take from my deck, Psychic Soul Healer deck. And permissive. So this person is acting like they don't care. That's the underlining energy. The underlining energy is that, well, you're going to act like you don't care. Well, guess what? I don't care. So that's the illusion. But I feel like this person's living a lie. I feel like they're angry right now. And I don't know why I feel that way. Possibly because when I look down, I look and I see aggressive. Again, like this person's getting triggered. I feel like you've been in separation from someone for a long time. That's what I feel like, or it feels like a long time, or if this person is just starting to realize, hey, wait a minute, this isn't a game anymore. So let's see. I'll look at some of the triggers. Well, I feel like this person tends to act very childish, and again, they wear a mask. They you don't really know who you're dealing with, because again, them being childish, it's a way that they're avoidant. It's a way that they don't have to, be transparent. It's a way that they can dominate you, control you. I'm not telling you anything. It's a way that they can control themselves so that they don't get that deep within this connection, which is really irritating. And it just goes back to making you feel undervalued. So you're like, well, you don't treat me well. You don't really care. You don't really care what my feelings are. It's a one-sided connection. It's what you feel like. But let's see how they really feel, because this is where the irony comes into play, because a lot of times you'll see the person really does have feelings, or sometimes you see, again, that they're busy. I can see myself with you in the future. So again, I want you, but I'm not really 100% ready for this connection right this moment. You deserve better than me, because they know that they don't really treat you that well. Jealous and possessive. Again, this one-sided connection, but I feel like they do things to try to make you jealous and act like you're possessive, when really they're the ones, because they're the ones that are insecure. See, if you're so busy chasing after them, then they're not worried about, you going really anywhere. But really, they're the ones that do what they do because they're jealous and they're possessive. And that's where the mask. Again, so, and for some of you, there's somebody else that lingers in the background sometimes for some. And, but this person never really believes that your story is over because there's still the spiritual connection. So it's almost like I'm not really ready for you, but I don't really want you to move forward. Um, I don't really want to change, but I want you to, give to me. Because like I said, they want to be possessive. There's a part of them that's like, you're my property. And that's how they act. So almost like not really a person, but they're like, our story isn't over. Like it's over when I say it's over. There's a little bit like that. I don't know what I want. And that's what I'm saying. It's like because they're not ready 100%. And that's what their actions are showing you. But if they were really, to be honest, they would say, I like you deserve better than me because I don't really know what I want yet. Or I know I want you, but I don't want to do what it takes to actually be with you. So I act childish. I keep it surface. And so again, you obviously got to the point where you were like, I'm done. Like again, I'm done with your childish behavior. You treat me, if anything, like I'm a conquest. The relationship doesn't need to be this hard. And really, you don't know what you want. The illusion is eventually that one day. But the truth of the matter is that how you know what you want is when you give it time. This person seems to always have like an exit plan. One foot in, one foot out. That's what it feels like. Like, again, you don't really care. That's the energy, but they want you to care. So, like I said, that's that. It's like they're pretty much standard on that. But we can say, okay, well, is there a spiritual element to this connection? We'll pull three, and then I want to pull three more from this deck, and we'll see. Don't listen to other people. Trust yourself. It's all like almost like they don't know what to do. So they may be asking their friends. They may be asking, like, again, if there is a third party, like just people, this person isn't strong within themselves, like what they should do with their situation, you know. Um, because the problem is that they've never felt love like this before, and the depth of it is inspiring, but it's also extremely overwhelming. So they know that they would have to like step it up to a certain level, and they're again, they don't really want to do that. Like they don't want to treat this connection the way that they know that it is. You are my true love, my heart and my soul. Like you don't act like it, you know. um they want to talk to you, but they're not sure they're ready to share everything, and they give you the answers that you deserve. So still like holding back, still don't really know. It's like they do have feelings for you, but there's like just a sense that this person doesn't want to change, like doesn't want to really grow up. And we have to say again, why? What's the issue? It's like, well, like I said, it's almost like the connection with you and them, it can be so intense. So again, and there's a lot of passion there. So the thing is, this person again needs to give it the time, the emotional connection to actually stabilize this. Otherwise, you'd be in the bedroom all the time. And that's the problem. It's like they're just kind of keeping it at that level, and that's the way that they like to operate. So it's again where they are used to rushing into a relationship, having it hot, and then fading out. It's like in this connection, they can't do that. And so again, there's a part of this person that creates a lot of confusion because again, they don't really know what they want. So if they would come into your life, they would be kind of like a whirlwind, which you don't want. This person just feels like, again, like it would be so much easier if you guys could get caught up in that like emotion, that passion. But what is it would just be a fling. And that's just because this person is just used to operating that way. And like, so they can guarantee results, almost like it could be nice person with that way, but actually being consistent and treating this like a soulmate twin flame connection, like where I show up forever. Like, I don't know how that would work. It's almost like they're afraid of that commitment. Where like, part of you is like, well, as long as we can't really figure out like how to get a balance on this, like you're not really ever going to lay that to rest. It's always going to come up again, and this person knows that. And so it really needs like healing. The relationship needs healing because they don't do what it takes. The energy goes back to this, where you're like, I need the depth, I need a real relationship, I don't want it to keep it like that. And so that's the issue. I feel like this person doesn't want that. They don't know how to get that. They don't know how to get that. They don't want to do what it takes to have that right now. But do they want that? They know that they're going to want that. That's what it feels like. They just don't know whether they want that now. Which it's like, you shouldn't wait and you shouldn't settle for less. But this is why this person acts the way that they do. And so again, this is part of the self-image. I don't know whether this person knew they had a lot of people that were after them. And, if I'm going to settle down, what's that going to look like? This person cares about that. Or again, if you're going to make me compromise, then am I going to be okay with that? It's something about this person's self-image, like I said, and family patterns. It could be like, again, that they grew up in an environment where marriage didn't really work out. And it's, again, codependent relationship worked out. So this person's like, I don't really want to get into a relationship. And that's really what's influencing the connection. I can do surface relationship. I can be here for a good time, not a long time. But this is a soulmate twin flame relationship. There's no way in hell that you would settle for that. And this person knows it. So they're like, I don't really want to let you go. But it's like, but what it requires is, again, they would have to, again, clear some of those family patterns, and part of that is like, this person just likes to take risks. Like they get bored in relationships. They get bored in commitment because they get into codependent relationships. So if you're not a codependent person, then the relationship would actually be fine. It's the fact that this person gets into relationships, they tend to be avoidant, and then, the other person's not happy, and then the other person's trying to make that person do what they want to do. And so their relationships turn toxic, and they get constantly like pushing it because they need healing due to, again, the way that they grew up. And again, and also we know that because they're also wounded. There's addiction. So these are the obstacles. It's like, I want you, but I don't really want to give up what I would have to do in order to be with you. Go deeper. It's like this person says that they're not going to give into fear because they know that fear is just an illusion, and that they care about you even when they act like they don't care. Is that they're not mature enough. But again, there's a part of this person that's like, I know that you're my person. I'm just not sure where I am, like, in being with you. It's like, I'm walking home to you. I know this, but I'm not sure where I am on the path. But I am going to eventually be with you. That's this person. It's like, if I could just keep you on the shelf and I want to do what I want to do, but it's like, I do care about you. I do have feelings for you. It's not like I just don't, not ready for all of it right now. I mean, part of this person needs to grow up. They feel like they're controlled by people in their environment, and that's part of it too, getting into a relationship. It's like maybe this person has parents that are very controlling, a boss, a sister, an ex-person. No one's in this person's life. But what I do see is again, they give their power away. So they're like, I don't want to get into another relationship because every time I get into a relationship, it winds up codependent. I give my power away. I'm even giving too much of my power away now. And I've hurt you and I'm sorry. I hope that you can forgive me one day, and Spirit just says, just know that you have to clear the illusions of the 3D world, that don't take everything at face value. There's a lot more going on spiritually and energetically. So even though you don't see it, this person is changing. They're not ready to be with you. But do they have feelings for you? Yes. It's like they don't want you to move forward. They don't want you to meet somebody else, but they're not ready to give you what it takes. So, and they don't really want to deal with it either, because it's like that's what I see here. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. Because that's the whole point, right? It's like if it's a relationship, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, let me tell you, if it's a twin flame connection, a lot of healing is done in separation. Where this person is healing, it's not like they're not healing. It's just you're not going to like what it looks like. So you definitely don't want to stare, because they're again focused on themselves, where you're supposed to also focus on yourself, Spirit says. And it's again, and this is where your healing comes into play. You need to do it anyway, whether this person's going to come back, whether you're going to meet somebody new. You need to clear this spiritual block, because again, you attract somebody that played a lot of games and was selfish. They're like, I'm not ready, but I know who you are. Let me put you on the shelf. I'll get back to you. I know it's not right, but they don't care. What should I do? Asking people, what should I do? They need to know what to do. What do? They check out. So again, Spirit says we look at your inner child wounds, because we want to see where the fragmentation came from. Because what is the karmic theme that continues to be played out? And part of that was, again, belittled. Again, if you were belittled by a parent, if you were belittled by a sibling, if it was a close friend, if it was a teacher, again, where there was a little bit of oppression, where I hate this card, because I always feel like this parent, like you don't see them, but it's almost like the parents like is okay with this, keeping their head, like being like disrespected, this parent telling this child, it's okay that you do this. This person doesn't mean anything. That's always the vibe that I get, that it's not just this kid that's doing it. And it's almost like where maybe you felt like it was a few people that, tried to oppress you. And that could be like, well, you're not deserving of. Well, this person can have it, but you can. And for some people, I feel like they grew up in like a divorced family, and maybe again the step parent was like that with their kids, and to you were like your father's kids, your mother's kids, and there was again just different behavior, different treatment. So you heard that for a few. I know that that's selected, but it's again could be any environment where again I'm neglected, my needs weren't met. Again, I was oppressed. And then when I would say something, I was belittled, again, made fun of. So again, we can see this psychological and emotional abuse. And when you live in that type of environment, there's a sense of knowing that, yes, we can know that we're deserving of it. But if we've been around people that have done that to us, what happens is that we form self-sabotaging behaviorisms. And so that's what we see here. And that could be overgiving, treating people that nicely that don't deserve it, trying to fit in, trying to be, that person that looks the other way continuously, where really, again, we have to set boundaries. Self-sabotaging behaviorisms, or like, I'm not deserving of it. Like, again, our habits are in alignment with that. And it like the innocence was robbed. And innocence is robbed, obviously, if you grow up in an environment where you're being like emotionally abused, psychologically abused, which is what I see here. Because that oppression is kind of like that. Like it's done in a very mean way. And again, when you're around people that do that to you, you begin to live from that level of consciousness. It's because you're gaslighted. You can't tell. And so it could have been even an ex, like a first boyfriend, a friend. It could have been anyone that did it, but that betrayal, that where again, like that you're supposed to care about me, you're supposed to love me, but like you psychologically and emotionally make me feel like I'm not deserving of it, which is exactly what this person did. By the way, they brought out all of that trauma So Spirit says, well, it's through the transmutation process that you actually integrate the spiritual lesson by embodying a new consciousness. And that wouldn't be with this person. If they're your twin flame, they're going to come back, and they're going to come back in a better version of themselves. Because again, in separation, that's where a lot of healing is done. If they're your twin, if they're not your twin, they won't come back. They were just a karmic. And but what we see here is that they want to come back. So that's the intention. So they're probably a twin, and then in between they're doing their healing. They're just not in the best version of themselves. They want to be. And so Spirit says, okay, well, you can do it. Strive to be. That's what the twin flame does. So again, in separation, there's a lot of healing that's being done. When they meet up again, they're not the same. They're better versions of themselves. So we see Spirit says, first of all, acknowledge everything that you have gone through in your childhood, being like, again, that energy is not good psychologically and emotionally, and this person and anyone else that did to you. So again, acknowledge what you have already overcome. Know how strong you are. Know that you're very empowering. That's number one. Spirit says, no matter that how hard it is, remember it's all part of the grand journey. All experiences, good or bad, shape your soul's evolution to help you learn and to grow. Now take bold action, because you can't heal in the same place that you got sick. It's like take a big step that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Understand the universe will conspire to bring you the right opportunities, the right people, the right experiences that are going to change your mind and your heart. So it's time to take this action in order to ascend life. What does that mean? Well, to let go of who you were, to realize who you truly are. Don't live from those spiritual blockages. Release the past. That's what you're doing during the time. And you're going to do that by, again, jumping out of your comfort zone into a whole new, reality, like a situation taught you how to flow with grace, understand that. And you'll be able to actually flow with grace too if you are, focusing on what you love and doing what you love. And, everything leads you back to the infinite possibilities. So understand, fulfill your promise to yourself first, so that when this person comes back, you hold to a certain standard. You're not telling this person, you're showing this person. And you're not going to be codependent because your cup is already full. Because, hey, you know who you are. You found yourself during this part of separation. So again, during separation, what you're learning is, hey, that love is still there, even though might not like it. Like what it looks like, I can still feel that they're around. And what you learn is love is unconditional. And what you're learning to do too is to learn to love yourself by investing in yourself. And then you see a different version of yourself, so that when this person comes back, you hold to a certain standard, because you're not the same person. And guess what? They're not either. And that allows you to actually walk into infinite possibilities, ones that you wouldn't be able to even imagine for yourself. Why? Because you didn't jump out of your comfort zone. You didn't live during this time where Spirit says, yeah, they're your person, but they're not ready. It's like, and neither are you. Now if we want to talk about it, is Spirit saying, it's like, really, this person just came into your life to show you where you need to heal. You need healing. It's again, because you didn't even know what your options are. You didn't even know everything that there is to be there. You want to teach a person how you want to be treated. That's not by telling them. They're not going to listen to you. You got to show them. And you gotta heal that aspect of yourself, where like, I'm deserving. I know who I am. Look at everything that I've done. I'm strong. It's like, and I have opportunities. That's what Spirit's saying. It's like, this is how you're true to yourself. Otherwise, what, you just gonna run into a relationship? It's like, no. It'll sell you short. We end off with one more, which is elevation. That Spirit says, free yourself from fear and trust the universe. Direct your thoughts to the beauty inside and around you. Use your spiritual strengths and knowledge to create light and rise above all doubt. And that's really what it's about, evolving, evolving into the highest level of consciousness, which is just unconditional love. So you can be abundant, so you can create your heaven on earth. This person is helping you. You're helping them. Even though you're like, this sucks, Spirit says, look at it from a different perception and look at it from, we both need the healing, and that's why it looks like that. But there is unconditional love. We're working through it. It's like I do it because I do want to be with this person. This person is doing it because they do want to be with you. But there's no guarantees. But what you're doing is making sure that at the end of the day that you're learning how to love yourself and you're becoming a better version of yourself in order, to really draw in people that are going to match your energy, which is going to be, again, a better version of yourself. So you won't lose, regardless of what you choose, because it's a collective reading. But Spirit's saying it's like, you're right where you're supposed to be. Don't judge your process. I'm going to leave that there, collective. Let me know how you resonated. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will be on again tomorrow. Good night. Bye. I don't know. I keep hitting the wrong thing. Bye-bye.